you can't win. You can't destroy what I really am. Even if you manage to kill this body, someone even stronger would surface and take my place. Not one death will go unaccounted for. Not one!
Alright, this is a note like from me, like after editing the video or whatever, just for like the overall tier list. You know, it's a pretty whimsical video. The tier list is like a serious list or whatever, but you know, given the amount of characters, we don't have time to explain in depth every choice. There'll be videos for that later for like different lines of robots and things such as that or whatever. We go over like some very basic like things in this video. Maybe I show a couple calcs or a couple like scans or whatever. But overall, we're kind of throwing people on the list and just having fun talking about it. That's basically it. You know, people who are placed next to each other are going to be like extreme diff for the most part. Even if there's like tiers that are like separated, but just one tier separation is also like high diff. Like there's not really anyone on this list can like completely no diff unless you're on like polar opposites or at least close to polar opposites on this list. You know, so like mid, high to extreme, depending on how close you are. That's it. Alright, so it's recording now. So street to wall.
Okay, cool.
So this tier right here is basically people who have who might be wall, essentially, but just like don't have that many feats at all. So this is basically just these guys. I should probably explain this. This is going to be like books and games specifically. And if there's versions of like people in the books that are different than in the games, I'll just use whichever version is stronger. Just because I can. And because I don't want to keep like duplicating PNGs of the same character because they're different in the books and the games, so. But I'll mention probably, so. Let's do this, and I'll put a bunch of the other, I'll go back to this actually, but. So obviously right here, Mangle is like definitely wall just because of Bite of 87. These guys via inverse like are probably blue wall, but otherwise they literally don't do anything like at all other than just sit on the ass, especially Freddy. All he does is play the fucking game. Let's see.
Just play the fucking game.
Basically, bro, like him and Kevin.
I mean, you're not wrong. That is literally all he does.
I mean, that's UCN though, so it might not be like really all that faithful, anyways. But either way, like, they don't have feet like that. Mangles don't know with actual feet.
They don't
like,
have shit.
is
They don't
wall.
really have shit.
You know. Granted, this is not the strongest version of Mangle, so I'm not gonna keep her right here. But I'm just saying, if you're using like just like the game version, then like right here.
Then Mangle would upscale.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about like the Funtime Foxy stuff like later once we get up there. Honestly, the Funtime Foxy in the fourth closet is not the same as the one in the game. Same thing with Mangle, they're not really the same, but it's still the strongest variant.
Considering that they're in like different continuities and shit, so yeah. That makes sense.
I'm just going with the strongest version because most people still be doing book shit. All right, so oh yeah, where's this motherfucker right here? Basically normal human shit, and then I need to import somebody already, which is annoying. Let's import. This is okay. Don't be tweaking, all right? We're gonna be tweaking in the first part of the video, bro. So this version. Okay, wait. So this is
bro.
This is
bro.
No, this is
bro. Come on.
This is not comp Afton. This is not comp Afton.
Come on, bro.
So
come on, bro.
This is normal human Afton, pre-remnant, pre like anything. All right, like obviously other versions of Afton are gonna be like.
So you're saying like that's
way up here.
Afton before he the shit out of the OGs is basically what you're talking about.
Yeah, this is just normal human Afton before he like dismantled them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is just because you know, he disassembled them at the joints because he knew where to hit via weak point, and because he, you know, basically just trapped him in a room and just diddled them real quick. But like normal human Michael gets like completely obliterated physically, and otherwise it should be about the same. So other than that, I mean, I have a whole. This is gonna be pretty quick, right? I mean, there's be stuff on Discord for like basically everything I say here, but. So is there anyone else I put in this tier? Oh, where's the map bot, bro? Like the regular map bot, not the regent.
That's right. Oh, the staff bot?
Yeah, for security breach, like just like this good little thing. I mean, it could be maybe wall, something like that, but like all these are like whatever. All right, next we're gonna go to I guess wall. Oh, let me put the interchangeable symbol right here first, though, for in between these guys. Because why not?
Wait, what about Lobit?
Oh, I didn't even put Lobe on my original list. I'm not really sure what you do with
Okay,
this.
I was gonna say
Where would you put it? Like here
I'd
or
put it
somewhere higher?
like I'd know like down there because she's the weakest character, in my opinion.
So you mean like in Street to Wall, or you mean in the like illusions, like computer virus?
The one where it's like the one like with the illusions and shit.
Okay, sure. Let's put it over here. It's not ordered down here, so it's kind of a bunch of shit. But all right, fair enough. It's not my last list, but whatever. Oh, okay. I need to re-import the interchangeable symbol literally every time because you can't copy it. But there we go. And now it's back. I'm just gonna put it up here because I literally have it later. So while we're gonna talk about like Endo O2, like withered animatronics, basically. I'm just gonna drag them all in here, and then I'll order them in a second. Let's go right here. Then start doing orders. Wait. Here. People usually say this. I don't really care. Either way. And then I need to import somebody now. We have. Where are you, bro? Where the? Oh, Dolly, right here. It's like the feet are trash. It gets cooked by it fails to break a lot of wall level stuff. I mean. Well, she got like incapacitated in the elevator shaft by just traveling up. She couldn't break through the roof of the elevator, which was just like very little was actually preventing her from getting inside the elevator. Could debate that's plot, but otherwise she literally has like no other showings. She can't break through metal doors or anything like other ones can.
What do you mean?
In a Mimic? She's kind of whatever.
Hey.
What?
I said you kind of could debate. You kind of could debate that that's a plot, so you kind of have a point. But either way, she still failed to break through the shit. So
we just anything. I don't have anything proving that she could break wall easily, and that's like not that it is plot necessarily. It's just probably plot, but that's who knows. Oh wait. Why does it look different? Okay, that's basically it right here. They're Endo O2 with souls, so. But they're more experienced and have more like IQ and battle IQ, so they're above the toys despite being kind of similar on paper. I'm gonna bring a Mangle up again. If Mangle was here, I'd probably put Mangle like at the bottom area right here. Just based off of Fall Fest 83, and basically all these guys here being present at Fall Fest 83, and so she would still have like experience and such that the OGs would have, which would put them above these toys right here in terms of like fighting ability. But whatever. So wall plus. Oh, there's a lot of stuff here, bro. Okay. I need to import. I'm just gonna import a couple of people first before I even bother. Actually, no. Let's put the Glamrocks here first. That's great. Let me bring these guys up. 2, 3, 4. There's a lot of room for like interchangeability between these Glamrocks because they're really weirdly inconsistent. So, but we'll talk about that in a second. So let's go here. That's wall plus, and then it's not in order yet, but let's see. So those, let's get you, and then I need the sun, motherfucker. Where are you, bro?
Right where Dreadbear is. Right where Dreadbear is.
Dreadbear? Dreadbear. Oh, right.
Dreadbear.
Oh, wait, there, perfect. Thanks.
Right. Yeah.
Where are you? And I'm so sorry. All right. I now need to import 3 different people. I need to import the Regent and 2 others. It's so annoying. I tried to duplicate the tab or whatever, but it didn't keep my old stuff. So let's go to Mimic. Right here. It's gonna be like the highest. He's like Big Daddy in this tier for now.
Big Daddy in this tier is wild.
Basically, I mean, he's obviously above these guys via literal relativity and beating them. So
beating this shit out of them.
Okay, let me import like the Jackie version. Wait, damn, where the fuck is Jackie? Actually, I'm gonna import Eleanor just because I see her right there. So just for later, I'm gonna do Stitch Wraith, and then I'm gonna bring in Regents, and then I'm gonna bring in. Did I forget anybody? Dolly. Oh, you, and then Jackie's right here. Okay. So I'm doing.
I literally don't like him, bro. He scared the shit out of me.
Fair enough. I'm gonna track the region up.
Oh Lord.
So the region is like above the glam rocks, but not, I don't think, to the same extent that the mimic is. Um, just based off of
I have,
Roxy still being able to like generally contend with the region to a greater extent than she was with the mimic. So that's fair, I think. Uh, Obviously Jackie has like slightly worse feats. I know it's like sort of a manifestation of the mimic, but at the same time, it's via possession, and the actual like body of Jackie is most likely weaker, given mimic just shows
weaker.
the struggle with different. Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah. Like mimic struggles like less, like with a like picking up a door, for example. Mimic does that joint easily, where like Jackie almost gets overpowered but barely lifts the door up. Like, I mean, I guess Jackie has like mobility and range, I guess, you know what I mean. But overall, I'm put the mimic up here.
So you're basically saying that like the Jackie body is weaker than the mimic endo body.
Yeah, I mean, same thing when mimic like possesses, much like the other random like elephant motherfuckers in the pizzeria. You know what I mean? Like this doesn't just get the actual mimic stats. So let's see. Is there an alternate here? Okay, actually, yeah, I need to put a bunch of interchangeable symbols. I'm gonna start ordering it. So these three are ordered correctly, and then I'm gonna do. Let me look on my left right here. So this and then.
Wait, wouldn't the daycare attendant scale above like the glam rocks because they tore their endos apart?
The daycare attendant,
like both of them, since
these guys, yeah. For some reason I blanked on who he was referring to. I luckily don't remember much about that. I mean, was it like a fair fight like type of thing, or were they like activated?
Well, to be honest, they say that, but now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like it's kind of an assumption because like we don't really see them tear them apart, but it's just shown in their room. Hold on. I'll give you the video.
I guess send me something on Discord. Alright. In that case, I'm just gonna keep importing a bunch of interchangeable symbols because I need to. Where's
Alright.
Here's this. I haven't talked about the Glamrock's order yet, but we'll do that after we get through the daycare attendant stuff. Let's put interchangeable here. Let's put interchangeable.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna review that in a second. I'm just gonna put all these down. Then is the night version like or is like the dawn, whatever it is, like is that stronger than the sun version, I think? Or nah? I think it is because like more aggressive maybe, but
well, I feel like I'm not sure a lot of people paid attention to this, but if we go off like the Ruin DLC, I feel like Sun would just be like slightly above Moon because he's able to take control of the body for like a longer time than Moon was.
I'll just put interchangeable for now, but I'll still.
Moon has like an AP in it though, but I'd put like the interchangeable symbol between them. Okay. Yeah, basically what you're doing.
Yeah, something like this. Okay. The debatable type of shit. All right. Let me look at what you sent real quick. Am I able to? I think I'm able to actually bring this up to the YouTube.
Dog?
Yeah, OBS is seeing it. So.
Where did my dog go? Where's my dog? Where's my dog?
I guess this guy's getting a free credit. Okay, let me go inside Sun's room. I'm gonna skip ahead in the video to see what. Okay, there's a bunch of map bots and stuff. Bunch of there's candles on the ground. That is true.
Yeah. Oh, there you are. Hey.
Oh.
So, what would you say?
I mean, it's true that it's in Sun's room. It's weird, but he could have been. It's like also looks like it was a storage room or something. I feel like he could have disassembled a random Glamrock endo that was just chilling. I feel like that's equally as likely. I'm not sure if I'd use this.
Makes sense.
Okay, so I guess for the people watching the video, if you think that they actually did like actively dismantle one of these four, then you would put them above. But just for it not being super clear, I'm gonna put it right here for now. Is there anything else I need to address here? Oh yeah, the Glamrock's order. Glamrock's order. All right, so. These guys are kind of inconsistent across both the books and the games. Like I almost don't care what order you put them in as long as these last two is basically true. I've seen like I'm gonna remove the Incas. I'm gonna remove these because it's easier to navigate real quick. But where's this? Oh, then regions above. I've seen people put Glamrock Freddy. I've seen people do this. This used to be pretty common. Just these two bigger ones, these two smaller ones. Then we put. Or I've seen Monty the strongest, second, third, and fourth. I've seen. This is what I kind of do right now. Just based off of like the book stuff. And just like feats. She has best feats, but there's a lot of ways to kind of put it through that are fairly reasonable. So I'm not really too like concerned, but all I know is that Glamour Chica is definitely the worst for sure. She's definitely at the bottom. Other than that, I don't really care too much which of these three put in order because they all have at least some reasonable argument. I'm putting her here for IQ feats and stuff like that. Basically, blitzing Glamrock Freddy in terms of combat speed in the books. Granted, that was with like the Monty Claw upgrade, but even regardless of the extra AP, she still could have done that via the speed, and her AP should still be enough to damage Glamrock Freddy, even though it would be less without the claws. Glamrock Freddy has other stuff as well, just like durability and things like that. Monty is just kind of described narratively to be the strongest, but he also has some anti-feats like being split in half by his own AP, via like literally falling and splitting himself in half on the pole after getting like thrown down by the bucket and the guardrails breaking.
His durability is ass.
Yeah, that was nearly street. I would like to say that's probably weak point. Wouldn't be surprised if that's at the joints, like specifically. However, it's still not like he doesn't really have that many AP feats either, so it's not much to prove. That probably is weak point to be honest, but it's still like a pretty ass showing. And he doesn't really have durability feats otherwise to prove, it's not street level or and that's not like wall level. He breaks through like a chain link fence sort of, but doesn't really calculate high either. Only broke like literally a couple links on the chain, not the whole fence. It's pretty trash. But he is still. I'm still putting him higher up here than like Chica because he has a lifting strength feat from the bucket, which is like class 50. And so because of that, I couldn't put the trash compactor Chica, who was like the worst IQ out of all of these glam rocks by far, anywhere even above or even interchangeable. So whatever you want to do with this first three, I really don't care too much. But Glamrock Chica's trash. All right. All right, let's go up to wall plus to like low small building potentially. So we're gonna be going up. Obviously we're gonna start getting the OGs out, right? Let's start the stuff that really gets people riled up and shit. You know what I mean? Okay, let's go. Let's go to. Generally, people do this. I need to import a couple more symbols. Let me import everyone up there first. Let's bring in these two as well. And is that all I put in? Yeah, I did, because everyone else above has like more solid small building arguments, like for sure. Even though these guys could be small building. But okay, I just need to cancel and then I need to import you have to import these one at a time. It's so annoying. Put the first one in between these guys. It's close enough, even though Bonnie is probably above Chica, but their feats are basically the same, so whatever. Next is this, which I've started to become kind of high on, even though I'm still putting Freddy above Foxy at like a very slight edge. The one thing that like Freddy kind of banks on in a way is the statement from the week before where like Chica like moved out of the way from Freddy because Freddy was tweaking, and people were trying to say that is like equal to like Freddy having literal physical superiority, when in reality it wouldn't directly imply that. As like people are just simply scared about angry people who are literally breaking stuff around them. Like.
Oh wait, are you talking about when Chica ran out the office because Freddy bit down on that cupcake?
Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to imply that Chica, like, she was scared of him, sure, but, like, obviously she is weaker than Freddy, right, in this case. But, like, I'm pretty sure she had no reason to believe that Freddy would actually attempt an attack on her life specifically. Like, even in, real life, like, these all guys kind of consider each other to be, like, family in a way. Like, it doesn't really matter how strong the person is compared to you. You know, like if there's a freaking like not like 110-pound tweaker at 7-Eleven in real life who's absolutely going ballistic, and I could probably be in a fight, I'm still gonna avoid that, bro, because it's scary and it's an unnecessary conflict. Realistically, I feel like that is probably a more realistic assumption about this, rather than just being scared equals physical superiority. Where though, you know, people are scared of bees in real life, it doesn't mean they couldn't squash it. It's because they don't want to get stung. That's really it. And like Foxy has like body weaponry and, you know, higher movement speed. You could be like, you know, probably higher AP and stuff like that. So, and I've seen people start to kind of come out like I've seen some edits kind of come out saying like literally, like literally this. And I think it might be kind of true, but I'm not 100% sold on it because Freddy still has like, you know, IQ and stuff like that, you know, but we'll see. Angry people are just generally scary and should be avoided. It's in real life, no matter how strong or weak they are, just to avoid unnecessary conflict if you're not a complete idiot and don't want to get stabbed. And Chica is not a complete idiot. And nor will she have actually any reason to even bother staying in the same room with Freddy's freaking raging ass. So using that to say, oh, being scared equals straight physical superiority without any other proof is it's quite an assumption. But there's too many other reasons and probably even more valid assumptions you can make before we even get to that. So a lot of people put these as interchangeable now. I've started to see that come out. You know, Fox says, you know, body weaponry, he's faster. That would result in higher AP. Still has the same endo, so about the same lifting strength. I'm still putting Freddy maybe slightly above just based off like IQ reasons and like narrative. You can sort of be like, you know, narratively Freddy is the big guy of all the four if you want. But you know, if people are gonna do this, I don't really care. I mean, I could almost do this. I could really get close to actually doing this genuinely, but I don't. Not quite yet. I need more time to reevaluate all that. These guys are about the same as well. Usually, people will put Bonnie above Chica, which is fine. Then these guys right here are the kind of the shitters of the fun times by like quite a large margin. Literally, all the other fun times I'm gonna put up have very strong arguments for small building. These guys simply don't. Especially Ballora, she wasn't even in the fourth closet, and she barely appears in the other books and does essentially nothing. Funtime Freddy fails to choke out a normal human in the fourth closet, which is like street, and still fails to do it. And then, that's probably narrative, like plot, you know what I mean? Because it makes kind of no sense to be honest, but it still happened. And then there's also, bro got incapacitated by like wall level from just being, like smashed in between two like large metal rods essentially, and it was disabled.
The ceiling fan
was it a ceiling fan?
Fourth closet. It was a ceiling fan.
It was.
Yeah, it was a ceiling fan. He got bitched by a ceiling fan.
I just remember him like being like hung up like literally over the object. I just forgot like what the actual object was. So a ceiling fan is trash.
Yeah, it was a ceiling fan.
Okay.
Yeah, he got hung. He was hung up by it. I think it was by his head. And then I think it like tore his head off, and he was just incapacitated.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
that's pretty trash. So like things where you could be like, oh, plot happened twice is like, oh no, and then also his IQ was pretty trash. He gets he like loses track of like when he's chasing like multiple people in the fourth closet when they're like right in front of him, just because they're not in his like direct line of sight. They just become like invisible to him essentially. So. No, he's pretty stupid as well. And so they're both kind of here. They don't have any arguments for small building outside of inverse. These four are above because they actually have like two separate feats which could qualify for small building, but they're at least wall plus. So because they have that like actual basis outside of inverse, then they're above these two. All right, let me get. Okay, I think I actually like came back pretty quick despite the hiccup we had. So we're up to small building minus. There's gonna be a lot of people in here. Did I import everybody? I think I did. So let's start. Let's start off with the blob up here. Where's the blob at? Let's just take a second to drag all these motherfuckers in here. Blob, let's get this, what's this guy called again? Like, the DJ Music Man clone from, like, Secret of the Mimic. What's that? Top something?
Big Top. Big Top is his name.
Yeah, he's pretty hell. I look, you vibe with him. He's cool, but yeah.
I don't fuck like that nigga, bro. I don't like.
Wait, why am I trying to stitch right there? My fault, my fault, my fault, my fault, my fault. I'm just I was listening to you talk. That's crazy to drag him up this early. Um, he'll be in the next tier, obviously. But DJ Music Man, let's put you up here. Or I could do this too. I don't know. I am actually putting an order, by the way. I'm not sure about this. These two. I'll figure it out in a second. Let me just drag everyone up. Let's let's get you and like Molten Freddy up here. And then what's the order I did over here? I did it like this. Yeah, these four right here are kind of weird. That's one of the reasons I'm gonna need you for this. Let's put Ennard, Funtime Foxy, Baby, and then finally get Mangle up here. So let's go here. Here, and then let me import a interchangeable icon. Let's go to interchangeable. Interchangeable can just be like literally debatable, or in this case, the exact same right here. The exact same. You could argue that like the Funtime's best AP, like feat, is from the Mangle form. You know, if you want, but at the same time they're all the same, so it doesn't really matter what you do here. Of course, you could argue this version right here probably has more like durability because the outer shell, but that has the same lifting strength because the endoskeleton is what drives like lifting strength because it's equivalent to essentially like muscle, whereas the like the robot suit itself contributes to durability in like a way armor would, but it's not tied directly like skin is to flesh, just more akin to like clothes on humans essentially is what we're talking about. So it's like exterior damage, but it doesn't actually affect the robot's ability to perform feats of strength or like operate and like be alive at all. Could also debate us via immortality, but even just via just being a robot, no remnant, no nothing, that still would apply. Did I forget anybody? No, that's it. All right, so yeah, we gotta talk about these four right here from like this like burn trap all the way down to Molten Freddy is like the order I am not like sure about. Kinda. This is where it starts getting like a little more dicey, I think. So let's see. I mean, this is what I had on the. Well, I did like this on the actual tier list. Just these three are kind of just based off of size, and then these guys are like similar but just smaller. I feel like, like is DJ Music Man like really like above this version of Burn Trap? You think? Yeah, you there, bro?
Oh, me? Wait, what was asking me again? I'm sorry, bruh.
No, it's good. It's good. All right, so like these four guys right here are like I'm not completely sure about the order here within the tiers. The first, I want to do like these two right here first. I'm not sure which would like probably be stronger than like like this DJ Music Man right here or this Burn Trap. I'm not sure where I want to go.
Okay. Well, there is an argument for Burn Trap, which in like the original Security Breach game, he was implied to have been draining power from the Pizzaplex, whereas DJ Music Man doesn't really have any good feats other than just throwing arcade machines like they're nothing. To be honest,
Yeah.
I don't really know. I feel like if you want to argue DJ Music Man would like upscale and physicals and shit, then sure, but I feel like Burn Trap would overall take the win and shit here. Where would you scale Burn Trap's feat, by the way? Like him draining power from the whole building. Where would you scale that?
It's hard to say. It'd be similar to like, I didn't talk about the power draining shit for the OGs. It's hard to say. They never outline what purpose it would actually serve is a thing.
Oh,
for the OGs,
okay,
we know it was because they were stated to want to travel farther just to literally escape the pizzeria. Charge their batteries to literally last longer, which shows that their existence, despite having souls or whatever, they still can't operate without having a battery. Which is also will have like an intact battery, which is even shown in the FNAF movie when they get like disintegrated by they don't get disintegrated obviously, but they get like disabled by tasers. They're pretty weak to electricity in general, but for a Burn Trap though, it's like what battery could really be intact? Like what would he need? What could he possibly use this electricity for? Is a thing. Like how it depends how strongly it's implied as well.
I'm not even sure, to be honest.
Okay, I think I'll leave it like this for now, just because based on size, these three in the front are kind of similar.
I just know it's sure. I guess.
Yeah, I could put the interchangeable sign there, but I feel like it's kind of weird to
If
do.
you want to, then you can.
Yeah. Then again, like,
I'd put the
this guy's hacks though. He has hacks though. It's still Afton. Like, let's. Nah, I'm gonna leave it here. But I don't know. But just based on like listening, you could put the interchangeable symbol there in your own mind if you want to. I don't really care. Next, we're talking about Scrap Baby and Molten Freddy.
I feel like Molten just like obviously taking this dub.
Okay, I got you. Because he has more, I guess, like inside him in a
More
way,
souls,
and he's bigger.
better remnant, more remnant.
Yeah, higher tier remnant.
Which
He's
looks
larger
more-
physically. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
So what does that mean for Circus Baby then?
That's awesome. That's okay. True. Ennard is definitely a lot more of a solid unit than I guess let's explain Ennard real quick. So Ennard is basically the Ennard is literally the best parts of all the other Funtime robots. Let me pull up the. Actually, I don't need to pull it up. Everyone kind of knows this, but like, basically, he takes the parts of their body that most will benefit his physical capabilities, so that he can escape to the outside world after being inside of Michael. Right? He takes Funtime Foxy's legs for speed. He takes like some of Baby's stuff for strength. He takes, I believe, he takes Funtime Freddy's eyes as well. But he basically is all of what the Funtimes are. And like basically the culmination of their best feats, literally based off of the most like literal inverse possible, by quite literally taking their body and just becoming this like perfect like ideal like monster, I guess, in terms of strength. So he is all of the best of each one of these, and he just takes those to become a unit basically. So I guess this is interesting. I mean, he is like physically small or whatever, but at the same time, like Molten Freddy is like just like an unraveled version minus Circus Baby, right? Or minus Circus Baby. So even though he appears smaller in terms of weight, he'd probably be actually higher. And because this Molten Freddy version is like just a bunch of wires on the floor. He looks bigger, but it's just because the what do you want to say? Like the animatronic parts are literally just hanging everywhere. They're not actually in place or in position, so they're spread everywhere. Sort of similar to how like human intestines can stretch across potentially the whole planet like in real life, which sounds crazy, but it's actually true when it's not condensed. Probably something like that. So maybe I actually want to do this. Maybe.
Oh yeah, that actually reminds me. Laura had said something about Elizabeth being able to hurt the amalgamation in the fourth closet. Is that true? Because okay.
Like, so, I mean that baby is so far removed from this, like by a lot.
What did she do? What did she exactly do to him?
I forgot. I can pull up would that be in the visual novels? Probably.
I don't even know, bro. He just said that she was able to hurt him.
Ooh. I didn't even put an amalgamation on here, to be honest. But either way, it depends. Obviously, it didn't kill the after amalgamation. So yeah, there's honestly no reason. I can see like affecting, like low relativity, like affecting the after amalgamation, just because it probably all be in small building. But I wouldn't say.
Wait, what? Where'd you get Afton from?
Oh, didn't you say the after amalgamation or no?
I just said the amalgamation.
Oh,
or was it
the amalgamation?
Yeah, Ennard. Yeah, Ennard, or Molten Freddy, or like the downgraded version of Molten Freddy.
Basically, what that is, yeah. Or potentially stronger, kind of weird. Probably not. Nah, I mean that's probably why they'd be like right around here.
Sure.
I feel like this is still a count because they're really right next to each other. I'm putting this version of Circus Baby above just because of the claw she has for bodily weaponry. I feel it's more viable than the scooper or like the ice cream scooper. Ice cream scooper didn't really do anything. It just lured in Elizabeth's stupid ass. So okay, I think we can basically move on. Let me I'll sort of rehash this though. So I've already calced Funtime Foxy and Mangle's breaking through the roof at very faithfully small building at both low and high ends. Based on like 90% like fully faithful math, and like the rest of it is very educated assumptions done through a lot of research. So it's a lot more faithful in these guys, and these guys are basically the reason these guys are even considered for small building in any capacity. In this tier, I talk about Funtime Freddy and Blora, and then Circus Baby. I'm just putting her here kind of via size, and she doesn't have any feats that are shown to be below Funtime Fox or anything. And then bodily weaponry here is fine, plus similar speed. These guys are self-explanatory. Enter is the best parts of all of them, so Enter takes Funtime Foxy's AP feat, and Molten Freddy's basically the same thing. So I think that's basically it. Now, next we're reading Spirituality plus win cons. This is sort of like a separate tier. These people vary a lot physically in terms of like raw physical capabilities. However, they are like really high tier Revenant users or something similar spiritually, to where they're still beating basically all these guys below, just based off of straight hacks. But in terms of physicals, a lot of them are pretty trash. But it doesn't really matter, because their win cons are just going to go ahead and basically cause them to win a fight against all these guys anyways. So we're going to be talking about like, all this type of stuff. Let me just drag everyone up. Actually, I hate this image. I like the FNAF 2 going Freddy better. Let's bring up. I'm not putting an order yet, by the way. It's not an order yet. I'm just dragging people.
Bro does not like the FNAF 1 Golden Freddy.
I mean, it's just like, look at this, bro. He's just, I don't know, goofy.
I mean, you're not wrong.
To be honest, he wasn't even scary, bro.
I see why you think
I gotta go. I gotta go in real life for a second. See ya.
No. Okay.
Sorry, bye. There's another hiccup. I had to go and do shit, but now we're back. Before we go on to the last year, I'm gonna clarify some things. First, I'm not like some like random person. I'm like uninformed about FNAF. I know about the large building stuff. I know about the city block stuff, bro. I've read the books. I've seen all those arguments, and those are all debunked. Extremely faithful.
What he's basically saying is that he is not slow. He knows about this stuff. You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.
That's good.
You should add that in there. You should add that in there.
Yeah, in there, I guess. Why not? I mean, whatever.
Yes! Let's go, bro.
got my cheerleader up in the Discord call all of a sudden, bro.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh,
wait, am I sharing my screen still? I'm not.
Always be here for you.
There we go. Okay, now I'm sharing my screen. But what was I saying? Yeah, either way, like, yeah, none of these guys are city block. No one's large buildings. Are pretty debunked, like, extremely solidly. And so I want to hear one of the comments talk about, but in the books there was a cave and the cave fell down. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, the blow is compared to an earthquake. Oh, whoop diddly do. All right, bro, shut up. I know. All right, so we go.
Bro.
All right, okay, lock in. So we gonna move into like the last tier. So last year is like these sort of like spirituality / like WinCon people. Their physicals vary a lot, and they're not even really above any of these guys below. Specifically, if I were to vote like specifically on physicals, that they'd be all over the place over here. But they don't really matter because they have win cons. Some of them have like death inducement. Some of them have like not sure, like soul manipulation and stuff like that. Or otherwise they're just like shown to be high enough agony users to just
durability negation.
What?
Durability negation.
Oh yeah,
forgot about that.
Yeah, soul manipulation and death inducement are like durability negation. Yeah.
Springtrap being able to kill people just via touching them. That was also the Stitch Rake, but they confirmed that Afton was the one doing that shit too. So yeah. Afton would have it.
Like most of these can just have that type of remnant. I think you said before, like we talked about this, that like there was like disagreements up in here about Nightmare and Springtrap. You said.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said Afton via the whole Eleanor shit. And the place that I just went dark, so I'm gonna turn the lights on. Ow!
Okay, he'll be right back. I'm not even gonna call off the video.
I'm back, nigga.
Alright. I wish Springtrap said that. That'd be goated. Alright. So what was I talking about? So yeah, I already talked about like basically everything why they're here. It's more about the order. So you said just like Springtrap, like Eleanor stuff, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Nightmare is like created by Eleanor. That doesn't I guess that doesn't necessarily mean. Well, it literally doesn't, but it literally doesn't mean that like just because he's created by her means he literally is as strong as her. I guess, but it's kind of hard to quantify where he is. If you ever say this, honestly, um, sure. Let me just only thing is I had these two interchangeable already, so if I do this, it's kind of broken now. I had these two because they're essentially just fighting spiritually inside the 12, like in room 12A. They're just fighting each other like spiritually in their mind, described as like just being a general conflict. You know what I mean? They're pretty relative. We already know Stitch Wraith is pretty much getting bitched by Golden Freddys. So I think everyone's fine with or like Andrew over Jake. I'm pretty sure everyone's fine with this. I feel like these are kind of just portrayed to be roughly equal. But then if I do this, I could just put like another interchangeable symbol and just like put it up in between Nightmare and Springtrap, but let me just drag it in. Let me see if I like how it looks, but let's go here. Did I forget any characters? I think I got all the characters in here. Where the hell's the interchangeable symbol? There it is. Anyways. And let's move it up. See, there's something like this. So Nightmare above Golden Freddy. I mean, I guess I put interchangeable, you know what I mean? But like, there's still like, this still shows like my kind of general idea on it, even though I think they're interchangeable. Do you agree with this right now? We had to cut the video again because Nightmare's phone been tweaking, so we had to switch to another device so his mic would actually work. Yeah, we'll start where we left off. So I'm just like, I'm just unsure about putting. I already consider this Springtrap, you know, and Golden Freddy to be like about the same, like spiritually, which is more important than physicals. And when we're talking about this tier of power in a way in the verse, and putting Nightmare in the middle is like, as like above Golden Freddy by like a super slight amount. I don't know. I'm just not. I feel like it should just be over here, or he should just like not even be on the list nearly at that point.
Why would you? What are your arguments for it being above Afton?
For being above Afton, I mean, they're really. A Nightmare Doki just doesn't have arguments, just in general, so it's hard to like, say anything.
You want to get your ass beat, bro? Oh, I'm kidding.
I mean, his whole argument is he was made by Eleanor, and that's basically it, right?
I thought he was made by Afton.
Or it's made by Afton. Okay. So okay. So in that case, you could probably put him below. Or he's.
Yeah, I would just say Nightmare would like scale below Afton because like. I think it was the clips. Eleanor obviously amped Afton's strongest form and shit. So wouldn't that make like Afton scale straight to Eleanor or some shit like that?
Oh yeah, could. Why not?
Okay. Yes, Afton would win, considering that Eleanor would be a stronger evil than him too. So yeah, there's that.
All right. Then we're gonna talk about Puppet and Eleanor real quick. You know, the whole thing about this is, you know, Eleanor basically running away from the puppet, which I know I said, if you go back to the OGs and we're talking about the week before, I know it's like, oh, like she kept being scared of Freddy, you know, it doesn't really imply superior strength. However, that's on the basis that they're not like enemies, but in this case they are literally enemies, so it's a lot more likely that I think the assumption that she's actually afraid of like being killed in some ways is actually a lot more likely because they are literally enemies, whereas for the OGs they're not. That's basically really it. Stitch Wraith right here, you know, he's shown to basically just get bitched by Andrew, like spiritually, like inside his own head. He can't, you know, Stitch Wraith is basically just saying the whole time throughout the book, he's basically just like, stop, this isn't you. But he isn't actually like, he isn't actually capable of stopping him from everything. He could just try to convince him the whole time basically to not do stuff. Like, Jake is, like, the lowest on his list by quite a bit. He's basically just a normal guy with a scary appearance, bro, but he is not, like, a proficient user in a way that everyone else is. He's like, he was pretty low. His spirituality is bare minimum. He's kind of mid. I mean, he's not mid. He's technically high up, but like among the rest of these guys, like he's just shown to just be bottom of the barrel in terms of this tier.
And considering that he was able to overpower and off-guard Jake, and he got massively beat the fuck up by Afton, and he didn't even fight back while Andrew was actually able to fight back, Andrew would probably just be superior just off of that. And let's also not forget how Jake literally got bitched by Eleanor, pinned him down, absorbed his agony. And in the novels, it's literally shown, well, not shown, but stated that Jake had called Eleanor scary, and he had pressed back into the shadows to hide away from Eleanor when Eleanor got, quote, kicked out, quote, of the amalgamation from Afton. So, yeah. Eleanor slams Jake all the way.
Yeah, W.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, I mean, honestly, like, if I, like, these first, like, 5 have, like, I guess, like, maybe some ways they could do stuff to each other, but, like, bro right here is just kind of like, bro, think you part of the team, like,
class is just by everybody there, bro.
yeah. You know, the one thing has completely off guard, and then otherwise it gets completely shut down by everyone else above the list. No, here for a second, like, when I was reading it, I low-key thought he had drip, by the way. Like, he looked hard, but, you know, that he just ended up doing nothing the rest of the book. That's kind of sick.
What was his drip? His fucking cloak that he wears?
I mean, he just looks cool. I don't know. Like, visually. But, like, that doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, not much of his art is even, like, official. He barely has, like, much. So I guess we don't really know much about what he looks like. But
yeah, you have a point.
Anyways, I think that's, like, basically
Not
the
like
list.
you're in shit, so yeah.
I'll go over like 1 or 2 things. I think I might have mentioned this already, but in case I didn't, like, I don't consider these guys to just be like directly below the Endo on 1 version, just because the only thing that's the same is just Remnant and like their soul essentially. But that doesn't really those don't, just because they have that same thing, doesn't contribute physical stats. Really, just contributes just the person itself and like hacks. You know what I mean? So those parts would be similar, but in terms of physicals, these guys are like basically like at or slightly above the toys, but they're still above just via like better hacks and like IQ and battle IQ and experience. Same thing applies to Mangle basically. Games version, you know what I mean? I've seen a lot of people will do like, this, they'll do this, and they'll do the same thing for all the other ones. I don't see it at all. They're too different in terms of literal physical composition. They're not the same robots like at all. So I'm not considering that anymore. Anything else here? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the technology argument stuff when I was talking about like, not reading, like I've read all the books and all that, and like I'm not like,
please
I know about
refute that, please.
Yeah, I'll refute. Like I said, I'm gonna refute like all that type of stuff. All that stuff's mostly debunked already. Those will all be like my first 3 videos when I come out after this are gonna be like debunking like the advanced stuff, debunking large building OGs, and then debunking Blob. Those are basically the first things that are coming out like right after this, and then after that I'm gonna go like deeper into like individual robots kind of, or at least like just like a video just about the OGs or just about the Glamrox or just about the toys or something and the fun time, whatever. Because right now this is like cool, whatever, and it still like represents my like general viewpoint. But there's like I've still sprinkled in like raising and stuff throughout the thing, but overall it's just a general overview. And actually I have to bring videos out to like defend some of this. This mimic stuff, like from like Secret of the Mimic, like is definitely like subject to move. Maybe if something like someone like mentions something that is like, just everyone glazed over real quick just because the game's been released for like so little time. So like all this stuff right here, like these two can move up. Maybe the doll can move up. The only thing she has is like tanking the fire. But, like that's a resistance feat. Because robots have a high melting point because they're literally made of metal. Just it's not mechanical energy via an explosion or a punch or anything. So based on
OGs. So yeah, if that's really her only feat, then she scales up below them.
Yeah, You know, I'll talk about OGs, absorbing power, quote unquote, and all of that. You know, all this. Yeah, those videos will come out pretty soon. Other than that, it's Loki's kind of been clip farming the whole video. I won't even hold you, but that's basically it though. Um,
Yeah.
all right. See y'all later. Finna try to. I might even hit one of those videos up tonight, just because I've already written like every single proof I need. It's just like, do I want to edit all that? Because those are really required. Those are like reliant on like pulling up scans and just like putting them in the video editor. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll do the simplest one. I'll do like the blob tonight. Maybe that's really easy. Because it isn't even, you know, I need like 2 scans. I need the earthquake newspaper, and well, that's basically it. Maybe I'll pull up like the polls he's
I think
making.
I should have, by the way.
Yeah, you do have it.
Okay.
Oh, also,
I'll send it to you.
yeah. I am making my own Discord server at some point. Well, it already is partially made, but I'm not gonna be leaving in like Nightmare server or anything. It's just so that like, it's just that people know like my stuff. Just because Nightmare server isn't like a complete like reflection of my views at this point, which is obviously fine because it's his server. But you know, I'm trying to like, there's some stuff in there I need to copy over. All right, I'm gonna end the video now though, but I'm still staying on the call Nightmare because I need to talk about stuff.
Bye, guys. Love y'all. Y'all are the best. Bye.